Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad that you have tuned in wherever you may be listening from. If you're at a game still, hey, shoot us a note right here on our chat, and we'll respond to it. If we miss a final or have an incorrect final, go ahead and shoot us a note in that case as well. And your chats will appear here. You can go to our YouTube page and subscribe, and you can chat right there on our YouTube page. You can go to Twitter, follow us at Scoreboard Guy, at Missouri_sports, and at playing_sports, and those will pop up as well. Leave a message on Facebook at Missouri Sports Network there in the chat box. But hey, if we missed something, we got it wrong, we want to know. And I apologize for being just a few minutes late here, but we had some technical issues getting on the air, which is the stuff I've been fighting with tech-wise today has been, well, it's just been incredible. But anyway, Guy Newcomb, a Scoreboard Guy, alongside from the score desk, Kent Mueller from Playing on Sports. Kent, let's run through some of the stuff we have right now and understand that there are some delays up there in the northwest Missouri with some storms that are coming through. But anyway, we'll give them what we have at this point.
All right, and the games are definitely completed before the storms. The games from last night. DeSmet traveled to Cardinal Ritter, but Cardinal Ritter won 66-47. It was Hazelwood East 35, Hazelwood Central 0. Washington in a close one over Fort Zumwalt East 22-20. Parkway West defeated Pattonville 41-29. In games played this evening, Lockwood, this is 8-man football, Lockwood 66, Appleton City 12, Mound City 56, DeKalb 16. They have also Liberal 52, Hill 14, defeated New Heights Christian 42-22. Brookfield defeated Milan 52-14. Marionville over Ash Grove 34-7. Lawson 30, North Platte 22. Tipton defeated Russellville 52-0. Macon defeated South Shelby 21-0, and Thayer shuts out Springs 69-0. It was Ava 56-7 over Kabul. Butler 26, Windsor 12. Putnam County 42, Gallatin 16. Warsaw over Midway 39-9. Monroe City defeats Highland this evening 68-0. Mid Buchanan 62, Penny 0. Marceline 46, Trenton 10, Colcamp 35, Versailles 0. It was Sarcoxie over Diamond 42-14. Blair Oaks 56, Hallsville 0. Pacific defeats Herman tonight 42-14, and Summit Christian on the road defeats Pembroke Hill 31-10. Lamar over Aurora 42-20. Mountain Grove 46-13 over Houston. Centralia defeats Palmyra 44-8. Kirksville 49, Fulton 19. Herculaneum defeats Perryville 16-13. It was Savannah 42-6 over Maryville. Harrisonville defeats Oak Grove this evening 28-7. Osage 21, South Boone 0. Central Park Hills in a very close one over Dexter 22-21. Seneca over East Newton 56-7. Central St. Joe defeats Excelsior Springs 28-7. Rittenhour over McClure North 42-0, and St. Mary's Southside defeated Althoff Catholic out of Illinois 23-0. Smithville defeats Grandview 77-0. Carthage over Webb City 28-14. Rockwood Summit defeats Marquette 36-0, while Platte County over Ruskin 70-6. Republic defeats Neosho 42-14. 49, Willard 8. It was Capital City 49 over Camdenton with 28. Glendale in a shootout over Lebanon 43-42. Liberty North 21, Rockhurst 12. Blue Springs South defeats Blue Springs to stay undefeated 35-7. Lee Summit over Staley 28-25, and Liberty defeats Oak Park 49-14. Nixa over Ozark to stay undefeated 57-7. It was Lee Summit North 20, Lee Summit West 17. Christian Brothers shuts out St. Louis University High 37-0. That was a battle of two undefeated teams. Games that will take place tomorrow: St. Dominic at MICDS, McDonald County at Central of Kansas City. It'll be Marquette Catholic out of Illinois over at Hayti, Eureka at McClure. It'll be Clayton at Normandy. Jennings travels to Riverview Gardens. Van Horn will travel to University Academy, where I will be announcing that game tomorrow afternoon at 3. That's Van Horn at University Academy. Malden will travel to Veritas Christian Academy. Greenfield at Bishop LeBlond. St. Michael at Hogan Prep. John Burroughs travels to Roosevelt, and Malden at Veritas Christian. Those are the scores we have at 9:41 p.m.
Outstanding. Well, I just got a final here as excuse me, Mount Vernon battles back to beat Nevada 28-24, I believe. So that was a big comeback and a big win for Mount Vernon in the Big 8 Conference. And a Nevada team that's been ranked in Class 4 a lot of the season, but that's it. It's just a Big 8 football. But congratulations to Coach Tom Cox and the Mount Vernon Mountaineers there. That game they've been trailing the entire game and kind of rally there at the end. Scores brought to you by Liona Labor's Local 663, Building Missouri, and reminding us, all of us, hey, drive safely in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Well, here we are in Week 8, just one more regular season game before it concludes. And Kent, you and I were talking a little bit about a couple of the districts. One is that Class 5 District 6 with Carthage, Republic, Neosho, Webb City going into tonight. We're all on the top 4 there. And Republic gets a win, so they're going to 6-2. Carthage is already 7-1. So it is. Neosho is probably out of getting a 1 seed, I know, and Webb City's out of it because Carthage beat them tonight. So, and Republic beat Neosho. So that 1-2 spot right there is going to end up being Carthage and Republic. They're in that 1-2 slot. They're in that district, and the 1 seed will get a bye. So Carthage will get a bye and then have home field advantage throughout. That other district that we were talking about was that Class 6 district, which had Blue Springs.
That's a loaded district.
Yeah, had Blue Springs upset Blue Springs South today. That would have drastically maybe even moved Blue Springs South all the way down to the 3 seed. But as of now, they're hanging on to the 2 seed. And Elias Catholic, they've just entered their score. So Blue Springs South remains basically about 2 points ahead of Elias Catholic for that top spot. Blue Springs drops to the 4 spot. And Rockbridge, their score's not been reported, but they may leap over Blue Springs as well and get that 5th spot. Blue Springs South probably has, outside of something catastrophic happening next week, because Elias next week plays Live for Life Academy Charter at 7 p.m. And Blue Springs will be hosting Lee Summit West. So another rivalry game there, and all those schools up there are just beating each other up. But I tell you what, CBC made a kind of make everybody kind of take notice tonight. I mean, this is St. Louis University high team that was undefeated and playing well on the season, and to go and all right, I don't know. Yeah, they were there. It was at SLU, so it was just the game was over pretty quick. And CBC, I think, now has to be the favorite with regards to the Class 6 state champion. I know Nix is awfully good, and DeSmet's awful good, but man, CBC made a statement tonight. And with that, we will go ahead and take our first break. You're listening to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, presented by the Bank of Billings, established in 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. Back after these messages, and we'll be hearing from Blue Springs South head coach Alan Wellness at 9:50.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. The heartbeat's strong, steady, unwavering. Like the people who keep this country moving, doing what they do best. Helping neighbors, pitching in, getting it done. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. And every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Seems Bill's up the creek without a paddle.
That's not funny.
And while he really wants a new boat, at Central Bank, we're helping Bill plan for what's most important. Like retiring early and fishing whenever he wants. Hey, Bill, try it again.
Fine. Hope a new boat's part of this plan.
Dream bigger, Bill. We're thinking about a cabin, too.
Now that's a plan.
The Walnut Street Inn is located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State Campus, Hammons Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Brought to you by Doak Propane. For all your propane needs, Polk County and surrounding counties, see the folks at Doak. We'll take one more quick trip here around the scores that maybe been updated before we get to Coach Wilmus from Blue Springs South. I'll go back to the score desk and Kent Mueller.
Okay, games from last night. Cardinal Ritter over DeSmet 66-47. Hazelwood East 35. Hazelwood Central 0. It was Washington 20. Zumwalt East 20. Parkway West 41. Pattonville 29. 8-man games tonight. Knox County 42. Lincoln 12. Lockwood 66-12 over Appleton City. Mound City defeats DeKalb 56-16. Liberal 52, Rich Hill 14 tonight. Jasper 42, New Heights Christian 22. Brookfield 52, Milan 14. Harrisburg defeats Fayette 28-8. Marionville 34, Ashgrove 7. Lawson defeats North Platte 36-22. South Harrison 39, Polo 8. Tipton shuts out Russellville 52-0. Stockton over Skyline tonight, 42-26. Macon shuts out South Shelby 21-0. It was Thayer all over Willow Springs, 69-0. Ava 56, Kabul 7. Butler 26, Windsor 12. Putnam County defeats Gallatin 42-16. Warsaw over Midway 39-9. Monroe City over Highland 68-0. Mid Buchanan over Penny 62-0. Saxony Lutheran defeats Massac County out of Illinois 42-27. South Callaway defeats Lynn 58-14. Marceline 46, Trenton 10. Cole Camp 35, Versailles 0. Sarcoxy defeats Diamond 42-14. It was Blair Oaks over Hallsville 56-0. And Liberty Mountain View over Salem 36-0. Pacific defeats Herman this evening 42-14. Summit Christian defeats Pembroke Hill 31-10. Hollister all over Springfield Catholic 60-31. Valley Catholic all over Bowling Green 56-6. It was Lamar over Aurora 42-20. Westminster Christian 42, Shen 6. Mountain Grove over Houston 46-13. Centralia defeats Palmyra 44-8. It was Kirksville 49, Fulton 19. Herculaneum holds servant at home against Perryville 16-13. Savannah over Maryville 42-6 to stay undefeated. Harrisonville over Oak Grove 28-14. Richmond defeats Knobnoster 24-14. Osage defeats Southern Boone 21-0. Vianney over St. Francis Borgia 42-1. Buffalo and a close one over Reed Springs 15-14. Also in a close one, Central Park Hills 22, Dexter 21. Mount Vernon 28, Nevada 24. Odessa over Chillicothe 21-7. Seneca defeats East Newton 56-7. Branson over Logan Rogersville 35-28. Carl Junction defeats Bolivar tonight 44-7. Central St. Joe 28, Excelsior Springs 7. Hannibal defeats Marshall 51-6. Rittenhour shuts out McLaren North 42-0, as did St. Mary's Southside over Althoff Catholic out of Illinois 23-0. Smithville all over Grandview 77-0. And it was University City 80, Afton 0. Carthage over Webb City 28-14. Fort Zumwalt West 30, Timberland 7. Rockwood Summit defeats Marquette 36-0. Platte County all over Ruskin 70-6. It was Republic over Neosho 42-14, as Joplin defeats Willard 49-8. Capital City defeats Camdenton 49-28. It was Fort Osage 41, Green Valley 34.
Okay.
And Club Glendale 43, Lebanon 42.
All right, we welcome into the show now Blue Springs South head football coach Alan Wilmus. Coach Wilmus, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Okay. Coach, a big win tonight against a crosstown rival. Tell us a little bit about tonight's game.
Yeah, our guys started out hot. I think we were up 28-0 at half and cooled down a little bit third quarter. Blue Springs held on the ball a little bit and busted a run on us, but we capped off the game with a nice drive and finished 35-7. So, those guys are tough. They have a good team. They're well coached, but I was really proud of our guys, how they came out and played. And, our quarterback had a great night, Aiden Wilhelm, and I'm not sure what his stats are off the top of my head right now, but he probably threw close to 250 to 300 tonight, several touchdowns, and running back Darius Morgan was probably close to 100 yards. So defense held them pretty good all night long. They have a really good offense, good quarterback. So really, I mean, we executed really well. And, had one mishap where they busted a run on us, but other than that, I was really happy with how we played.
The defense seems to be playing extremely well right now. I mean, you haven't given up more than 7 points in the last 6 games. Tell us about that defense of yours.
Yeah, well, it all starts up front. We got a great nose guard, Marqual Baylark, and got some really good ends, Xavier Gammon, and Brody, and Melvin Solomon, and just a bunch of guys that do a really good job up there, and some really just really good linebackers. Jaden Richburg's in the middle, big kid who's big and physical, and then we got a superstar, Prince Goldsby, on the edge, and just got some really good safeties and 2 lockdown corners. I think most of our guys that are seniors, pretty much all of them, have Division I or Division II, college offers. So that really helps that they're good football players. But they just play really well together. And our DC coach Verdi does a great job putting game plans, and the kids trust him. They just play really hard and run the ball and do their job. So, when you have that, you have the result we have of just giving up, minimum amount of points, every game. So hopefully we can keep it going.
Very good, Coach. Did you come out of tonight's contest relatively healthy outside of just football bumps and bruises?
Yeah, I think I think our nose guard got hurt. I think he might have broke his arm. So hopefully it's something he can cast up and go. Marqual, he's a really good player for us. So I think he took 2 helmets, kind of smashed into his arm. So he came out the second quarter, got an X-ray, and I know he fractured it. So hopefully we get good news and he's able to keep going this season. But if not, then just next man up. We got a couple young guys that did a really good job once he was taken out. But yeah, other than that, we're pretty healthy, after this game.
And any win's important, but you look at tonight's contest, and with it being a district opponent, a crosstown rival, it's got to be tremendous, exciting to get this win, knowing that it really affects your district, and a loss really could have affected your district.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think we kind of sealed ourselves into a bye week at least, and hopefully we can finish out next week against a good Lee Summit West team and keep that number 1 seed over Helias and keep home field advantage. Because our district's tough. Helias is undefeated, and everybody in the district, I think, has a winning record or better. And Blue Springs is a really good football team. I think they've been ranked in the top 10 in the state for a while, and I think they're just right outside of that right now. But they have some really good players. So I know we're got our hands full coming up, but our kids have been playing and practicing well.
What do you have to do next week to come out on top?
I think just be ourselves, play Jack football. First, have a good week of practice, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and go 1-0, execute the game plan. And, I think we do that. Lee Summit West, they do have some really good football players running around, but I think if we play together and do our job, I think we'll be just fine.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time, and that's twice this week. And
yeah,
we have a rule here at the Missouri Sports Network that in order to become a friend of the show, you have to make 3 appearances. So go ahead and go win next week and win in districts, and we'll get you back on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, guy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Coach. Have a great evening.
Man, have a good night. Yep, have a good night.
Coach Alan Wilmot there from Blue Springs South. First appearance on the Friday Night Live, but had an athlete of the week that we aired earlier today as part of high school game day. Aiden Wilhelm is quarterback who's going to Rice. Got the interview out today. He'll be going out individually tomorrow as well. And I cut you off there, Ken. We got a couple of minutes here before we hear from Liberty North head football coach.
All right. I will pick up right here. University City defeated Afton 80-0 tonight. Kearney over Winnetaka 54-7. Fort Zumwalt West 30, Timberland 7. Rockwood Summit 36, Marquette 0. Platte County defeats Ruskin 70-6. It was Republic over Neosho 42-14. Joplin over Willard 49-8. Capital City defeated Camdenton this evening 49-28. Fort Osage 41, Grain Valley 34, Glendale 43, Lebanon 42. it was Liberty North over Rockers 21-12. And William Chrisman 40, Raytown 16. Blue Springs South defeats Blue Springs, and we just heard 35-7. Blue Springs stays undefeated for the season. Lee Summit 28, Staley 25, Liberty 49-14 over Oak Park. Nixa defeats Ozark 57-7. Lee Summit North over Lee Summit West 20-17. Christian Brothers all over SLU 37-0. That was a battle of two undefeated teams. And let's see, we can Fair over Willow Springs 69-0. Macon over South Shelby 21-0. Stockton 42, Skyline 26. Tipton 52-0 over Russellville. South Harrison 39, Polo 8, Lawson 36, North Platte 22. It was Marionville over Ash Grove 34-7, Harrisburg 28, Fayette 8. Brookfield defeated Milan this evening 52-14. That's Brookfield 52, Milan 14. Jasper over New Heights Christian 42-22. Liberal over Rich Hill 52-14. Mound City 56, DeKalb 16. Lockwood defeats Appleton City 66-12. Knox County over Lincoln 42-12. And games played last evening: Parkway West over Pattonville 41-29. Washington 22 over Fort Zumwalt East 20. Hazelwood East 35, Hazelwood Central 0. And it was Cardinal Ritter in a high-scoring game over DeSmet 66-47. I can drop down here and pick up Glendale over Lebanon 43-42. Liberty North over Rockers 21-12. William Chrisman 40, Raytown 16. Blue Springs South. All right.
We welcome to the show now Liberty North head football coach Andy Lehrman. Coach Lehrman, thanks for being part of the show tonight.
Thanks, Kat, for having me. Appreciate it. Good to visit with you.
Coach, a big win tonight over Rockers. Tell us about the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, a huge win for our program. We got on the ropes a little bit last week and had a loss against Lee Summit North. Didn't play real well and had some injuries. And our guys came out tonight. Just really proud of how they played a physical ball game like it is every time we play. And we've played Rockhurst 6 or 7 times in the last 3 years. A lot of them are big playoff games, and they've been one-score games. And tonight wasn't a whole lot different. Just a hard-nosed football game, kind of back and forth. And our defense played really well and kind of held them down, and our offense did enough to get some big scores early to kind of give us a lead. So just proud of our kids, how they came out and played this week.
Coach, basically 90% of the way through the regular season, what do you feel like you're doing really well right now? Or maybe what's an area where you feel like you maybe need to improve to go make a run?
Yeah, we're really young. For the first time in a while, we're a little bit banged up right now. We started 2 backup outside linebackers, our 4th corner. So we've had some injuries on the defensive end, and just really proud of how those guys have come out and battled. And I think we're just getting better. So if there was something I'd say we need to improve on, is just continued growth. And I think we're getting there. We got one more regular season win, or one more regular season game, like you said, next week. And we got to come out and play well. But I thought tonight was our best team win of the year, and just against a really good Rockhurst team. Thing we got to get better at, I think we just got to get healthy. I mean, if we can get healthy, we got a shot to make a little run here in the district, and hopefully make a deep run in the playoffs again with a young team that's really grown over the course of the year. I'm just really proud of these guys.
Coach, you talk about that game next week. Blue Springs just got done interviewing Blue Springs South head coach Alan Wilmus. What do you know about Blue Springs, and what are you going to have to do to come out on top?
Yeah, I know they're better and better every year. You know, Coach Polson's been over there for I think it's his 4th year now, and they've continued to grow that program and get better each year. I know they've got a ton of athletes. They got a really good quarterback that can throw it around. They've got a defensive end that also plays a little bit of tight end. That's a Division I kid. So they're going to spread the ball around. They're super aggressive defensively, where they're going to line up and blitz you quite a bit and play a shell coverage behind it. So they're going to try to get us to probably make some mistakes, and we're going to have to be able to run the ball like we have the last few weeks and really kind of control the line of scrimmage and do what we can to slow their offense down. They do a great job of kind of mixing that up and some spread looks and some pro looks with 2 backs.
What does tonight's win do for you as far as districts?
We're still sitting in the 3 seed, I think, right now. Park Hill's in the 2, and they got delayed. We got some weather up here north, and we were lucky. We started early at 6, so we beat it. But right now, I think there's some teams with delays. But if Ray Peck can knock off Park Hill, that's going to help us bump up a notch. And if not, we're going to be probably sitting at the 3 going into next week. Obviously, needing to get a win, and then hopefully somebody else makes it happen to help us bump to a 2 to get a bye. But either way, we're sitting in a spot where we feel pretty good, and we know the competition in the district is going to be difficult, but I feel like our schedule this year and every year pretty much prepares us for that. Our district's a little bit different this year with the teams that are in it, but again, we just feel good about where we're at and the competition we play to prepare us for week 10 and on past that.
Very good. Well, Coach, as always, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time here, especially after the game. You're losing your voice. And,
gosh, yeah. Tonight was a fun one.
Yes, I bet it was. Coach, again, thank you so much for being part of the show. We look forward to catching up to you here as the playoffs come on.
Yes, sir. Glad to visit with you, and feel free to contact me anytime to hop on. I love visiting with you.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. Andy Learman there from Liberty North. Won a state title here a couple of years ago, and he is a friend of the show. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we'll be back, and we'll have William Duke making his first appearance here this year from Tipton High School. They get a big win. We've also got Mike Nelson from Republic, Aaron Fritz from Mid-Buchanan, Anthony Hayes from Savannah. All left right here on the show. It's 10:07, everybody. Be careful. Put your seatbelts on, and we'll be right back after these messages.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. The heartbeat's strong, steady, unwavering. Like the people who keep this country moving, doing what they do best. Helping neighbors, pitching in, getting it done. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. And every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Seems Bill's up the creek without a paddle.
That's not funny.
And while he really wants a new boat, at Central Bank, we're helping Bill plan for what's most important, like retiring early and fishing whenever he wants. Hey, Bill, try it again.
Fine.
Hope a new boat's part of this plan.
Dream bigger, Bill. We're thinking about a cabin, too.
Now that's a plan.
The Walnut Street Inn is located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State campus, Hammons Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. We welcome to the show now Tipton head football coach William Duke. Coach Duke, hey, thanks so much for being part of the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate what you do. Currently on the bus, so I can't promise you the signal will be the best, but we'll do our best.
That's all right. We've been kicked off our feed 3 times already tonight, so hopefully it'll all work out. But, Coach, big win tonight. Tell us about the game over Russellville.
Russellville is a very talented team. They come into the game 6-1. We were able to get out to a fast start. We won the toss, received, and we were fortunate enough to score on our first play, a long pass play from Dave Schlotzauer to Ty Bixler, and that kind of got the fire going a little bit. We were able to hold them on their possession and score then on our next one and kind of got rolling a little bit. I thought our kids played well. They executed the game plan, and from an offensive standpoint, those 5 guys up front on the line, William, Sam, Nick, Ben, and Chance, they just did a great job of pushing people and creating holes today. So it was really nice to watch our running backs run as well.
Hey, Coach, does this affect your district standings at all?
It does. Russellville had played a Class 4 team in Afton and beat them. And with the way Misha does points, Russellville was ahead of us in points. So now we will jump them because of the head-to-head. But still, with another week to go, things could happen. But we should have the head-to-head against them. Yes.
Did you come out of tonight's contest relatively healthy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks be to God, we are healthy. Yep.
What do you feel like right now at this point, 90% of the way through the regular season? What do you feel like you're doing really well? And maybe what are an area maybe you feel like you need to shore up to make a deep run in the playoffs?
Well, we kind of look at it 1 week at a time, but I think what we're doing well is that we care about each other, to be honest with you. I know that some people are going to say, oh, that's coach speak or whatever, but no, we talked about it this week that, you got to love each other, and that doesn't always mean it's going to be sunshine and rainbows, but it does mean that you're going to do your very best for one another. And we're doing that well right now. We could certainly do it better at times. What do we need to work on better? Blocking and tackling. We have to keep getting better at the basics over and over again. There were some times tonight where, we still didn't get to our assignments on defense. And even though we held them to 0, there's things that we could do better there. Offensively, they're missing a block here or there. I think one of our coaches put it really well. He said it's like a V8 engine, but you got to misfire in cylinder 5. So you got to get that fixed so that you could do better.
You got you at South Callaway next week. A team that's 5-3 at this point. What do you know about them?
South Callaway is a really good football team. Coach Rulo came from there, and the guys that were coaching with him are still there. So I'm sure that they'll share some information on us. But Coach Wish does a great job there. They have one wing back, who's named Colton Adrian. He's already committed to William Jewell. Their quarterback, Green Pontius, has Division I offers. They're big, they're fast, they're physical. And to be honest with you, in my time at Tipton, we've never won at South Callaway.
Very good. Well, Coach, as always, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time here on a Friday night. Maybe we'll get to visit here throughout the playoffs, and good luck and safe travels.
That sounds great. God be with you, man. Have a beautiful night.
All right, you too. Thanks, Coach.
Bye. Yeah, bye.
Coach William Duke, they're kind enough to join us on the bus. They're at South Callaway next week to end out the regular season, and he mentioned a little bit about that district that he is in. It's Class 1, District 4, and this score from tonight has not been put in yet because Russellville, like you mentioned, was ahead of them. Both teams were 6-1 coming into tonight. Colcamp's 6-2, and their game has been put in, but they're not going to have enough points, I don't believe, to catch them. And neither Russellville nor Tipton, I don't believe, play Colcamp here at the end of the season because Russellville is at Fayette next week. So with that, we will go back to the score desk. We've got updated scores coming in continuously. And we invite you also to go to our YouTube page and subscribe so you know when these games are coming out. And I see a lot of people watching, across the state of Missouri. Hey, drop us a note. We've got a chat right there on our YouTube channel or on Twitter or on our Facebook Live, wherever you may be watching from. Hey, we encourage you. Let us know what we're doing. If we miss something, let us know. If we get something wrong, let us know. We'll go back to the Kent Mueller at the score desk and run through the scores one more time, and then we'll hear from Ryan Cornelson, Republic head coach at 10:20.
All right, we'll start with the 8-man games being played tonight. It was Knox County 42, Lincoln 12, Lockwood over Appleton City 66-12, Mound City 56, DeKalb 16. Liberal over Rich Hill 52-14, Jasper over New Heights Christian 42-22. Paris defeats Slater 67-22. North Shelby 52, Schuyler County 16. In 11 football being played this evening, it was Brookfield over Milan 52-14. Harrisburg over Fayette 28-8. Lone Jack defeats Sherwood 14-6, while Marionville defeats Ash Grove 34-7 this evening. Lawson over North Platte 36-22. South Harrison 39-8 over Polo. Tipton shuts out Russellville 52-0. That was a battle of two 6-1 teams in the same district. Stockton 42, Skyline 26. Macon 21, South Shelby 0. Thayer over Willow Springs 69-0. North Callaway 50, Van Far 8, Ava 56, Kabul 7. Butler 26, Windsor 12. Putnam County 42, Gallatin 16. Louisiana 49, Mark Twain 14, Warsaw over Midway 39-9. Monroe City shuts out Highland 68-0 as Mid Buchanan shuts out Penny 62-0. Saxony Lutheran defeats Massac County out of Illinois 42-27. South Callaway 58, Lynn 14. Marceline 46 over Trenton with 10. Cole Camp 35, Versailles 0. Sarcoxy defeats Diamond this evening 42-14. Blair Oaks 56-0 over Hallsville. Liberty Mountain View shuts out Salem 36-0. Pacific 42, Herman 14. Summit Christian defeats Pembroke Hill on the road 31-10. Hollister 60, Springfield Catholic 31. Valley Catholic defeats Bowling Green 56-6. Lamar over Aurora 42-20. Westminster Christian over Deschênes 42-6. Mountain Grove defeats Houston tonight 46-13. Centralia 44, Palmyra 8. It was St. Pius the 10th of Kansas City defeating St. Pius the 10th of Festus 48-20. St. Genevieve defeats Jefferson Festus 55-14. And Cape Girardeau Central in a close one over Lift for Life Academy 17-16. Kirksville 49, Fulton 19. Herculaneum 16, Perryville 13, Savannah over Maryville 42-6. Cassville defeats Monette 48-46. Harrisonville falls to Oak Grove. It was Oak Grove 28, Harrisonville 14. Poplar Bluff 34, Kennett 8. Richmond 24, Knobnoster 14. Osage 21, Southern Boone 0. Vianney 42, St. Francis Borgia 21, Buffalo over Reed Spring 15-14. It was Central Park Hills by 1 over Dexter 22-21. Moberly by a touchdown over Mexico 28-21. Mount Vernon 28, Nevada 24. Odessa defeats Chillicothe tonight 21-7. Seneca over East Newton 56-7. Branson over Logan Rogersville 35-28. Carl Junction defeats Bolivar 44-7. Central St. Joseph 28, Excelsior Springs 7. Hannibal 51, Marshall 6. Chaminade over Hillsboro 42-7. Rittenhour 42, McClure North 0. St. Mary's Southside over Althoff Catholic of Illinois with 0.
All right. We'll go now to Republic head football coach Ryan Cornelson. Coach Cornelson, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Coach, big win tonight, a big district win tonight, a very good Neosho team coming in with the same record as you. Tell us about the ball game.
Yeah, it was a good game. We took most of the first quarter, had a long drive, and then we stalled out and didn't punch it in. So that wasn't good, but our defense stepped up and had a bunch of stops. Offense got it going and really moved the ball consistently and owned the line of scrimmage. And that's probably the biggest key, was just owning the line of scrimmage most of the night.
Who any players or positions that really stood out for you tonight? 42-14 was the final.
Yeah, Preston McCracken, our quarterback, had another big night. That's 3 weeks in a row. He's had a big night, and he's got a lot on his shoulders as far as the reads and making sure we run the offense right. And he was able to make a couple good reads and create some big plays, and threw the ball a little better tonight. And had some passes that we completed, and fullbacks ran hard, and we were able to just run our fullback stuff up the middle, and so the offense tonight, it worked, like what we want it to. We really didn't get our tailback and our Z going very well, but other than that, I felt like our offensive line did a really good job controlling the line of scrimmage.
Coach, we're 90% of the way through the regular season. What do you feel like as a group you're doing really well right now?
Tonight was good. We lost our composure last week and had the big meltdown at the end and got beat by Carthage, and they did a great job at executing, and we didn't. And we had the lead on them and gave it up, and so we put a big challenge on our kids. Like we got to get back to who we are and being disciplined and accountable to our assignment, and what typically has made us successful. And so tonight I felt like we got back to that. We were disciplined in our assignment. We executed the plan. We didn't get out of our game plan, and so to me that was a good sign that after a tough loss, an emotional loss, that we came back and played really well.
Coach, just giving up right around 3 touchdowns a game, and that's very good considering the schedule that you play there in that COC. As you look at that district now, Branson got a win tonight too, so they're 6-2 as well. Just a brutal district, but kind of locking up at least a couple of home games has got to help.
Yeah, and that's why the Carthage game was so big, because obviously, trying to play your games at home it always helps. But the district's really tough. We've all been through a lot of battles now and played tough games, and so everybody's going to be battle tested and ready to go. And so it's going to be a tough one for sure. We're all in the same boat. Whoever plays well that night wins, and so we'll have to make sure we're ready heading into districts.
Well, and in some cases, you could play a team for the second time, maybe 3 times.
Yeah, it sounds like we're going to – if it all holds the way it is now, it sounds like we'll play Willard next week, and then we'll play Willard again. And so, that's not really what you want to do, I guess, but it is what it is, and we'll have to be ready to play whoever they put in front of us and try to have a good game plan and play well.
Coach, you come out of tonight's contest relatively healthy?
This time of year we're banged up. We had some guys starting the game banged up, and so we I wouldn't say we're healthy. I would say it's probably normal for this time of year. And we just like a lot of high school teams, we don't have just a ton of depth that are ready to play at the varsity level. So guys are playing through some bangs and bruises, and that's kind of our expectation as we play. And so they'll ice tonight and rehab and be ready to play again.
Well, outstanding. Well, Coach, as always, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time here. Congratulations on the win, and we look forward to visiting with you again.
All right, man. I appreciate you having me.
You bet, Coach. Thank you so much.
You too.
Coach Ryan Cornelson there from Republic High School, and they'll play Willard probably back-to-back weeks. And then I would imagine they would get, let's see. Well, they would get probably Branson or Neosho. Who knows? Or Webb. Doesn't really matter. There's still one game left to go, but we will go back. Go back to the score desk, and I got to back off my mic here a little bit. I gotten some messages here that I sound a little muffled, but that is my fault. So, Adam, thank you. Hopefully, this is better. I backed up a little bit, but it says the coaches sound great and they can hear Kent, but I'm a little bit muffled. So, I will do better at unmuffling. But anyway, hey, we're going to go back to Kent Mueller at the score desk and run through the scores here before we're joined by Aaron Fritz from Mid Buchanan at 10:30.
All right. Last night's games, we have Cardinal Ritter defeating DeSmet 66-47, Hazelwood East 35, Hazelwood Central 0, Washington 22 over Fort Zumwalt East with 20, Parkway West 41, Pattonville 29. In games played this evening, these are 8-man games. Knox County 42, Lincoln 12, Lockwood over Appleton City 66-12, Mound City 56, DeKalb 16, King City 62, St. Joseph Christian 8, Liberal over Rich Hill 52-14. Jasper defeats New Heights Christian 42-22, and it was Paris 67, Slater 22. North Shelby defeats Schuyler County 52-16. In 11-man games, these are all tonight. Adrian 44, El Dorado Springs 13, Brookfield 52, Milan 14, Harrisburg 28, Fayette 8, Lone Jack 14, Sherwood 6. Marionville over Ash Grove 34-7, Lawson over North Platte 36-22. South Harrison defeats Polo 39-8, and Tipton shuts out Russellville 52-0. It was Stockton 42, Skyline 26, Macon shuts out South Shelby 21-0, and Thayer shuts out Willow Springs 69-0. North Callaway 50, Van Far 8, Ava with 56, Kabul with 7. Butler defeats Windsor 26-12. East Buchanan over Plattsburgh 64-48. Putnam County over Gallatin 42-16. Louisiana defeats Mark Twain 49-14. Warsaw defeats Midway 39-9. Monroe City over Highland 68-0. Mid Buchanan 62, Penny 0. It was Saxony Lutheran over Massac County of Illinois 42-27. South Callaway defeats Lynn 58-14. Marceline over Trenton 46-10. Colcamp defeats Versailles 35-0. Holden over Carrollton 35-6. Sarcoxy 42, Diamond 14. Blair Oaks shuts out Hallsville 56-0. Liberty Mountain View 36, Salem 0. Herman falls to Pacific 42-14. Summit Christian defeats Pembroke Hill 31-10. Hollister 60, Springfield Catholic 31. It was Valley Catholic 56, Bowling Green 6. Lamar defeats Aurora 42-20. And it was Westminster Christian over Deschênes 42-6. Father Tolton Regional Catholic 49, Kip Casey Legacy 0. Mountain Grove 46, Houston 13. Lafayette County over Lexington 44-20. Centralia defeats Palmyra 44-8. St. Pius of Kansas City defeats St. Pius of Festus 48-20. St. Genevieve over Jefferson High in Festus 55-14. That's St. Genevieve 55, Jefferson of Festus 14. Central Cape Girardeau 17, Lift for Life Academy 16. Kirksville over Fulton 49-19. Herculaneum defeats Perryville 16-13. Savannah all over Maryville 42-6. And a close one over Monette 48-46.
All right. We'll go back to the phone lines. We welcome in Mid Buchanan, the Dragons head football coach, Aaron Fritz. Coach Fritz, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, Guy. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Coach, a huge win tonight. Maybe an opportunity to rest some players here as you get later in the season, but tell us about tonight's game.
Yeah, man, we played really, really well. Just got after them right away. They started with the ball. They lost yards. We got the ball, scored in 3 plays. Stopped them again, got the ball back, scored really quick again. And it was 21-0 or 28-0 at the end of the first. And we got to 49-0 before half, and it was just kind of getting out of hand. So we got the ball back down to the 1, but since we didn't score very fast, we just stopped at halftime at 49-0 and already had some of the second group in. And the second half, only our second and third groups played, and they scored twice, and that was good. And they got stops against their first team a couple times. So it was a really good night for us. Got in there, got out, started early, beat the rain, beat all the storm stuff, and had a really good night.
Coach, what do you feel like you're doing really well right now as a team? I noticed you're not even giving up 10 points a game and scoring over 46 points per game, but defensively you've got to be pleased with what you're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, just like anybody else, like we've done some things that I wish we could do better on defense. Gave up some yards, gave up some touchdowns late, but we're running to the football. We're playing pretty sound, and honestly, we're getting lined up pretty well. And when we get lined up well, then we get in position to make ourselves successful. And we've done a pretty good job of that so far. So I am proud of that piece of it, and I hope we can continue doing that.
Health-wise, you guys pretty healthy coming out of this game?
Yeah, I mean, we're as healthy as we're going to be at this time in the year. I mean, we got 2 guys out right now, but they're going to be fine, and we got all 42 of us ready to go.
Outstanding. Kind of, looking forward to next week, a big rivalry game, with East Buchanan, I believe next week. What do you got to do there to come out on top and maybe not have guys kind of get complacent?
Well, they're still a good football team. I mean, they're having a little bit of a different year for them, but they had some guys get banged up early, and now they're starting to figure stuff out. We're not good enough to look past anybody. We got to play well every week. We got to get off after people and play hard and do stuff right. So I think we're a pretty locked in group. I'd like to think that this week they'll have a little more juice because we have a chance to win the conference title and be locked in and ready to go.
Well, outstanding, Coach. That holding on to that 1 seed in a 7-team district, that's got to make you feel good too, just because you're going to get a bye.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to hang on. Cameron's still playing. They're playing a Class 4 team, and they'll play a Class 3 or 4 team next week. So we're no stranger to going undefeated in the regular season if we're lucky enough to do that next week and not being the 1 seed. So I don't try to mess with the point system or see anything. It just is what it is.
Very good. Well, Coach, as always, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time. Congratulations on a big win, and we look forward to visiting with you throughout the playoffs.
Guy, I appreciate you having us and covering us, man.
You bet, Coach. Thank you. Have a good trip. Good evening.
Thank you.
Coach Aaron Fritz there from Mid Buchanan, kind enough to join. They are 8-0 right now. South Harrison's 7-1, but he was talking about Cameron, and their score hasn't been reported tonight. But even if they win, and I don't have that score in front of me, but even if they win, they'll just be 4-4. I don't know how you can expect to jump all that way up, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And we better take a break here. We've only taken 2 breaks here, so we better take a quick timeout, come back, go through some more scores, and then we'll visit with Anthony Hayes from Savannah and wrap up the show after these messages from the Missouri Sports Network.
Any given Saturday, and a little work. And a little play.
Hey, little help?
And a truck that says no to nothing.
Hi, Dad. Can we give them a ride?
Yeah.
The Silverado Trail Boss and Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Leaders know there's no guide to greatness. When everyone else says something can't be done, they know it only hasn't been done yet. True leaders weather the fiercest storms and look deep within themselves to rise above and help others find their way forward. At Great Southern Bank, we're proud to partner with visionaries that help raise the tide for all of us. And when you're ready to bring your vision to life, we'll be right behind you with award-winning support.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Hey, you're turning 65 soon, maybe already retired. Medicare can be so confusing, but it doesn't have to be. At Calhoun and Associates Insurance, they make Medicare enrollment smooth, simple, and stress-free. And that's just the beginning. From choosing the right plan to creating a retirement strategy that lasts. Calhoun and Associates Insurance is your one-stop shop for a secure future. Hey, they'll help you understand your options, avoid costly mistakes, and build the retirement you deserve because you've worked hard your whole life. Now it's time to enjoy it. Call Calhoun and Associates Insurance today or tomorrow at 417-379-2157. That's 417-379-2157 or visit calhouninsurances.com. Your golden years start with a golden plan. Well, Guy Newcomb alongside Kent Mueller at Scoreboard Guy and at Playing on Sports here at the Missouri Sports Network, which is at Missouri_sports on X. And again, hey, text somebody that you're listening to the show. Tell them how to listen to it. Sign up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a like on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. We'll go back to the score desk before we bring in Anthony Hayes from Savannah High School as the Savages are 8-0 on the season, but they're still sitting in that 2 slot behind Kearney, who's going to play up. But we'll go back to Kent Mueller at the score desk. Kent, update us, everybody.
All right, we'll start Class 2 and work our way up to the bigger schools. Holden, 35, Carrollton, 6, Sarcoxy, 42, Diamond, 14. There's Forsyth over Fair Grove, 58-34. Blair Oak stayed undefeated by shutting out Hallsville, 56-0. Liberty Mountain View, 36, Salem, 0. Pacific over Herman, 42-14. Summit Christian goes on the road and defeats Pembroke Hill, 31-10. Hollister over Springfield Catholic, 60-31. Valley Catholic over Bowling Green, 56-6. It was Lamar, 42, Aurora, 20. Westminster Christian, 42, Deshen, 6. Father Tolton Regional shuts out Kip KC Legacy, 49-0. Mountain Grove over Houston, 46-13. Lafayette County, 44, Lexington, 20. Centralia over Palmyra, 44-8. St. Pius of Kansas City defeats St. Pius of Festus, 48-20. It was St. Genevieve over Jefferson High of Festus, 55-14. Central of Cape Girardeau defeats Live for Life Academy this evening, 17-16. Score just in. Stratford, 17. Clever, 12. Kirksville, 49. Fulton, 19. Herculaneum, 16. Perryville, 13. It was Savannah over Maryville 42-6. Cassville 48, Monette 46. Oak Grove defeats Harrisonville 28-14. Pleasant Hill defeats Center 49-12. Poplar Bluff over Kennett 34-8. Richmond 24, Nomnoster 14. Osage shuts out Southern Boone 21-0. Vianney doubles up St. Francis Borgia 42-21. Buffalo edges by Reed Spring 15-14. Central Park Hills also edges out Dexter 22-21, and it was Warrensburg by a touchdown over Clinton 28-21. Moberly 28, Mexico 21. Mount Vernon over Nevada 28-24. Odessa defeats Chillicothe this evening 21-7. Seneca 56, East Newton 7. It was Branson over Logan Rogersville 35-28. Carl Junction defeats Bolivar 44-7. Central of St. Joe 28, Excelsior Springs 7. Hannibal 51-6 over Marshall. It was Chaminade 52, Hillsboro 7. Rittenhour over McClure North tonight 42-0, and St. Mary's Southside defeats Althoff Catholic out of Illinois 23-0. Festus over Farmington 41-36. Smithville all over Grandview 77-0. Lincoln College Prep 27, Raytown South 6. It was northeast of Kansas City by a touchdown over southeast of Kansas City 15-8, and University City defeats Afton 80-0. Kearney 54, Winnetonka 7 this evening. Carthage defeats Webb City 28-14. Fort Zumwalt West 30, Timberland 7. Kickapoo 24, Waynesville 7. Liberty of Wentzville 42, Fort Zumwalt South 0. Rockwood Summit shuts out Marquette 36-0. Oakville defeats Webster Groves 48-7. Platte County all over Ruskin 70-6. Republic defeats Neosho 42-14. Elias Catholic 47, Smith Cotton 0. Joplin over Willard 49-8. Belton 48, Truman 34. Capital City defeats Camdenton 49-28. Fort Osage 41, Grain Valley 34. Fort Zumwalt North 43, North Point 0. Glendale in a close for Lebanon 43-42.
All right. We go back to the phone lines now, and Savannah head football coach Anthony Hayes on with us. And Coach, big win tonight over a very good Maryville team.
Yeah, it's a huge win. Big rivalry for us. Pumped to get that win. Also an MEC championship.
Very good. Tell us about the game. 42-6. And I'm looking at your scores, and in your last 7 games, you've given up 30 points, a total of 30 points. Your defense is playing awfully well.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. Really pumped for our defensive staff. They got those kids bought in. They're playing hard. They're flying in the football. We're getting turnovers. Had a couple big ones in this game tonight and last week as well that flipped the field, gave us short fields for our offense. Coach Wiley, our D coordinator, does an incredible job. And we got some great senior leaders like Jackson Dudek, Braylon Ellis, Keegan Bechtold. Those guys did a great job. We had a massive pick 6 by Jake Bodenhausen to end the first half that I thought really flipped the script for us to have the momentum going to the next half.
Coach, tell us about individuals maybe that are playing really well for you right now. And it may be position groups. It may be your defensive line or linebackers. Where are you really having some standout performances?
Man, that's tough because I feel like across the board, our kids are just solid. in the linebacker crew, Caden Phillips and Jackson Dudek are as good of a tandem as there is out there. Really excited about our D-line. I mentioned a couple of those seniors, but we got 6, 7 guys we can rotate at the D-line that I feel like there's no drop-off, so we feel like we could always put some fresh kids in there. Secondary, Jake Bodenhausen had a good night. Gash Miller has done a really good job. Caleb Strick stepped in at corner. He played some quarterback for us as well. Our defense is just really bought into 11 guys doing their job, 11 hats to the football. They're fun to watch.
Come out of tonight's contest relatively healthy.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, we every game you got a couple nicks, bruises, rolled ankles, but nothing that kept anybody out.
Now you've got this big win tonight. What does that do for you and your district? I know it's a tough district. You've got Kearney in there that I think probably right now is still atop that district, but kind of what does this do for your district?
Well, I think it keeps us in that number 2 spot for now. We'll worry about that later, but it should solidify us as one of the top 2 seeds potentially going into the playoffs.
And that'll get you by with just there's 7 in there. But Coach, you got St. Pius, the 10th out of Kansas City next week. What do you know about them, and what are you going to have to do to win?
They're a good team. They're a Class 5 school. They've made some runs lately. They're very well coached. They have a lot of talent. They got kids that are going to play at the next level. We're going to try to enjoy tonight. We'll worry about them later this weekend.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, again, congratulations on a big victory, and we look forward to visiting with you throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, always good talking to you, guy.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, see ya.
Bye-bye. Anthony Hayes there, kind enough to join us from Savannah. So that's a big win, over a very good Maryville program, and I didn't realize that would give them the conference championship. It would be between them and Maryville. But Maryville falls to 6-2, but they're a Class 3 team. And you look at Maryville's district right now, and they're still the top seed there, and likely not going to give that up because they're 7 points ahead of Richmond, who's also 6-2 but hasn't played up. I mean, Maryville has played a very, very challenging schedule. Starting off losing in week 1 to Blair Oaks, who's 8-0, 42-14. And they've got Lafayette St. Joe next week, who going into tonight was 0-7. We need to take one more time out here. You're listening to Friday Night Live on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And we'll be back after these messages from our sponsor.
Things are a little tight for Terrence right now. But they won't be for long, because Central Bank makes it easier for customers like Terrence to dream bigger.
More room would be nice.
With mortgage solutions that can open the door to more space.
That's what I'm talking about.
For his growing family.
Growing family?
Honey, guess what?
You got this, buddy.
Unplug and unlock. Road trips on easy mode. And a really big touchscreen for the biggest jams. And qualify for up to $7,500 in tax credit with the Equinox EV. Unlock the tech and the value with the 2025 Equinox EV, America's most affordable over 315-mile range EV. And Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Whether your day starts early or goes late into the night, brings the discovery of something new, or just the work of getting it done, it's all easier with a little help. At Great Southern Bank, we understand the importance of having a trusted, reliable support team who can offer you helpful resources and smart options to make the most of what you have and build on it, with possibilities that inspire you to keep going. Find your support team at GreatSouthernBank.com. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
Hey, now, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Also presented by Bambino's Italian Cafe on East Battlefield at Lone Pine. Hey, join us there on Mondays. We've got 2 more regular season quarterback clubs remaining, and then it's off to the award banquet on November the 3rd. Some big news coming up on November the 3rd. Wow. We went around the state so far. We've had Blue Springs South head football coach Alan Wilmus on. We had Liberty North head football coach Andy Learned on. We had William Duke from Tipton and Ryan Corneliuson from Republic, Aaron Frisch from Mid-Buchanan, and Anthony Hayes from Savannah. We're going to have to take a trip around St. Louis next week. But we'll go back one final time. It is 10:50. We'll go back to the score desk and Plan on Sports Kent Mueller. We'll run through the scores one more time, and we'll get out of your hair.
All right, one last time. Thursday night games. It was Cardinal Ritter C6, DeSmet 47, Hazelwood 35, Hazelwood Central 0. Washington defeats Fort Zumwalt East 22-20, and it was Parkway West last night 41-29 over Patton. This evening in 8-man football, Drexel defeated Osceola 58-22. Knox County defeated Lincoln 42-12. Lockwood over Appleton City 66-12. Mound City 56, DeKalb 16. It was Worth County over Pattonsburg 74-24. And it was King City over St. Joseph Christian 62-8. Liberal defeats Richville this evening 52-14. Jasper over New Heights Christian 42-22. Paris defeats Slater 67-22. North Shelby over Schuyler County 52-16. And it was Port 74, West Nottoway 28. On to 11-man football tonight. Adrian defeats El Dorado Springs 44-13. Brookfield over Milan 52-14. Scotland County 52, Crystal City 30. Charleston defeats East Prairie 41-14. Harrisburg over Fayette 28-8. Lone Jack over Sherwood 14-6. It was Marionville 34, Ash Grove 7, and Miller defeats Pierce City 34-21. Lawson over North Platte 36-22. South Harrison 39, Polo 8. Tipton over Russellville 52-0. Stockton over Skyline 42-26. Macon over South Shelby 21-0. Thayer defeats Willow Springs 69-0, and North Callaway defeated Van Far 50-8. Ava over Kabul 56-7. Butler defeats Windsor 26-12. Salisbury over Crest Ridge 54-6. East Buchanan 64, Plattsburgh 48. Putnam County defeated Gallatin this evening 42-16. Louisiana over Mark Twain 49-14. It was Warsaw over Midway 39-9. Monroe City shuts out Highland 68-0. Mid Buchanan shuts out Penny 62-0. Saxony Lutheran defeats Massac County out of Illinois 42-27. South Callaway 58, Lynn 14. Marceline over Trent 46-10. Colcamp over Versailles 35-0. Holden defeated Carrollton tonight 35-6, and Sarcoxy defeated Diamond 42-14. Forsyth over Fairgrove 58-34. Blair Oaks shuts out Hallsville 56-0. Kelly defeats Lutheran of St. Charles 13-6. Liberty Mountain View over Salem 36-0. Pacific defeats Herman 42-14. Summit Christian over Pembroke Hill on the road 31-10. It was Principia 68, Priory 33. Hollister defeats Springfield Catholic 60-31. Valley Catholic defeats Bowling Green 56-6. Over Aurora 42-20. And it was Westminster Christian over Deschênes 42-6. Father Tolton Regional Catholic shuts out Kip KC Legacy 49-0. Mountain Grove over Houston 46-13. Lafayette County over Lexington 44-20. Centralia 44, Palmyra 8. St. Pius of Kansas City over St. Pius of Festus 48-20. St. Genevieve over Jefferson High in Festus 55-14. Central Cape Girardeau 17, Lift for Life Academy 16, and it was Stratford over Clever 17-12. California defeats Eldon 36-28. Kirksville over Fulton 49-19. Herculaneum 16, Perryville 13. Savannah defeats rival Maryville 42-6. Cassville in a close one over Monette 48-46. Oak Grove 28, Harrisonville 14. I have Pleasant Hill 49, Center 12. Poplar Bluff over Kennett 34-8. Richmond over Knobnoster 24-14. Osage over Southern Boone 21-0. Vianney 42, St. Francis Borgia 21. Buffalo edges Reed Spring 15-14, as did Central Park Hills over Dexter 22-21. Warrensburg by a touchdown over Clinton 28-21. Moberly over Mexico 28-21. Mount Vernon defeats Nevada 28-14. It was Odessa 21, Chillicothe 7. Seneca over East Newton 56-7. Winfield 20-7 over St. Charles. Branson defeats Logan Rogersville 35-28. Carl Junction over Bolivar 44-7. Central St. Joe 28, Excelsior Springs 7. It was Hannibal defeating Marshall this evening 51-6. Chaminade over Hillsboro 42-7. Rittenhour shuts out McLaurin North 42-0. St. Mary's South Side defeats Althoff Catholic out of Illinois 23-0. Festus 41, Farmington 36. Smithville all over Grandview 77-0. Lincoln College Prep 27, Raytown South 6. It was northeast of Kansas City by a touchdown over southeast of Kansas City with 8. University City defeats Afton 80-0. Kearney over Winnetonka 54-7. Jefferson City defeats Battle tonight 48-0. Carthage over Webb City 20-14. Fort Zumwalt West 30. Timberland 7. Kickapoo picks up a win over Waynesville 24-7. Liberty Wentzville shuts out Fort Zumwalt South 0. And it was Rockwood Summit 36, Marquette 0. Oakville 48, Wester Groves 7. Platte County all over Ruskin 70-6. Republic 42, Neosho 14. Elias Catholic defeats Smith Cotton on the road 47-7, while it was Joplin on the road defeating Willard 49-8. Belton over Truman tonight 48-34. Capital City defeats Camden at home 49-28. Fort Osage 41, Grain Valley 34. Fort Zumwalt North shuts out North Point 43-0. That was a battle of two teams who are 6-1 in the same district. Glendale by 1 over Lebanon, 43-42. Parkview over Hillcrest, 26-8. Kirkwood, 49. Ladue, Horton, Watkins, 10. Liberty North, 21. Rockhurst, 12. William Chrisman over Raytown, 40-16. Blue Springs South defeats Blue Springs on the road, 35-7. It was Hickman over Rock Bridge at home, 13-10 over Rock Bridge. Lee Summit, 28. Staley, 25. Liberty, 49. Oak Park, 14. North Kansas City, 49. Park Hill South, 14. Nixa over Ozark, 57-7. Seckman defeats Hazelwood West, 54-12. And Lafayette Wildwood over Lindbergh, 54-14. Lee Summit North, 20. Lee Summit West, 17. Brothers shuts out SLU at a battle of undefeated teams, 37-0. Troy Buchanan all over Francis Howell North, 73-6. And in games to be played on Saturday, St. Dominic will travel to MICDS. McDonald at Central KC. Marquette Catholic of Illinois will travel to Hayti. Eureka will travel to McClure. Clayton will play at Normandy. Jennings travels to Riverview Gardens. Van Horn travels to University Academy for an afternoon game. And Malden at Veritas Christian Academy. And Greenfield will play Bishop LeBlond on the road. St. Michael travels to Hogan Prep. John Burroughs will travel to Roosevelt. And Malden will play Veritas Christian. Those games are tomorrow.
Very good. Very good. How about that win from Glendale over Lebanon? That's back-to-back weeks where Glendale's won a game by 1 point, and they're both in the 40s, 42-41 last week and 43-42 tonight. Didn't get to see the end of that game, but it was back and forth for sure. And that district, what that means, I mean, Lebanon right now is 4-4, but they played up, but they're just one spot in front of Glendale. Capital City has the one slot right now. Glendale will, just by virtue of their head-to-head win over Lebanon, move up to that 2 spot there in that district. Jeff City is in the 4 spot. That's not going to change. They're 2-5. Don't know what they did tonight. Camdenton's 1-7. Waynesville and Hillcrest are both 0-8. But next week, Glendale's got Nixa, and Lebanon will be playing Waynesville. So Lebanon's going to get a win, and Glendale's going to get a loss. But head-to-head, they ain't moving. They're staying right there at that number 2 spot, and they may have an outside opportunity because they're playing up to maybe even catch Capital City and get that 1 seed. But all in all, some big games tonight. CBC had a statement game tonight. Savannah had a statement game tonight as well. But certainly glad that you have tuned in. To everybody behind the scenes who's working. Got the good doctor in the other room putting scores in, and Kent back there on the desk putting scores in. I've even put some scores in here tonight. But we appreciate you tuning in. Thanks to all the coaches who have been a part of it. Thanks to you listeners who've been sending messages and letting us know what we sound like. And I really appreciate it. Hey, everybody. Hey, there'll be a rerunning of this tomorrow. If you missed this show, you can go to our YouTube channel. It's archived there, or you can tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. and hear it all over again. You're listening to Friday Night Live on the Missouri Sports Network. Guy Newcomb saying good night.